Welcome to the Celtic Llama. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to crochet the Granny Square motif number 7. For this pattern, you're going to need to know how to do a double crochet. If you need help with that, you can check down in the description below for my videos on how to do those stitches. So for this pattern, you are going to need 2 different shades of yarn. For this, I'm using a light green and a dark green. So to get started, you want to chain 4, and in the last chain from the hook, you want to work 15 double crochets. Then you will join everything with a slip stitch. Row 2, you are going to chain 3. That counts as your first double crochet. Then you will chain 1, and in that same space where you joined with a slip stitch, you're going to work a double crochet, and then chain 1. Now the repeat for this pattern is after you've done your first chain 1, you're going to skip a stitch. And the repeat is double crocheting, chaining 1 and double crocheting in the same stitch, followed by chaining 1 and skipping the next stitch. This is repeated 7 times, and then you will join with a slip stitch and fasten off because we're going to grab our second color. Now for our second color, you're going to join it exactly where you fastened off your last bit of yarn. You're going to chain 3, and that counts as your first double crochet, followed by chaining 2 and skipping the next chain 1 space. Then the repeat for this work is going to be working 4 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chaining 2 and skipping the next chain 1 space. This is repeated 7 times. So what you're doing is you're skipping working in the chain 1 space for the V, and you're actually working in the chain 1 space that connects your V stitches together that you created from the previous round. So then once you've done all of this repeat, you are going to work 3 double crochets into the last chain 1 space and connect it to your chain 3 from the beginning, because again, that is your first double crochet. Next, we're going to go back to our other colored yarn, and we're going to join it exactly where we left off. You're going to chain 3, and that counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to chain 4, and you're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the hook, and then you will chain 1. And we will jump right into the repeat for this round, which is going to be double crocheting into the next 4 stitches, then chaining 4 and slip stitching into the 3rd chain from the hook and chaining 1. All of this is repeated 7 times until your last 3 stitches, and then your last 3 stitches will be worked as double crochets, and then you will join with a slip stitch. So here we are, just finishing off. We're going to work our last 3 double crochets in the last 3 stitches and join with a slip stitch into that chain 3 space. Next, for round 5 is very similar to round 4, to where you start off by chaining 3, and that counts as your first double crochet. Then you are going to chain 5, and you're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the hook, followed by chaining 2. Then the repeat for this row is going to be double crocheting in the next 4 stitches. Then you will chain 5 and slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the hook, and then chain 2. This is repeated 7 times until your last 3 stitches, and then you will finish everything off by working 3 double crochets into the last 3 stitches and then joining with a slip stitch. So here we are, just finishing off round 5 and joining with a slip stitch into that chain 3. So you'll notice it's kind of rolling up just a bit, but the next 2 rounds are actually going to end up helping it give it that weight that will make it lay flat a little bit better. So for round 6, you're going to start off by chaining 3. Again, that counts as your first double crochet. Then you're going to chain 7. Then we'll jump straight into the repeat, which is going to be double crocheting in the next 4 stitches and chaining 7. This is repeated 7 times until your last 3 stitches, and in your last 3 stitches you're going to work a double crochet into each stitch and join with a slip stitch. So here we are, just finishing off, joining our slip stitch into our chain 3. Now for round 7, you're going to start off with chaining 3. Again, that counts as your first double crochet. Then you are going to work 11 double crochets into that chain 7 space from the previous row. And then you will jump straight into your repeat for this round, which is going to be double crocheting in the next 4 stitches, followed by working 11 double crochets into the next chain 7 space. This is repeated 7 times until your last 3 stitches, which are going to be each a double crochet, and then you join with a slip stitch into your chain 3 space, and there you have it. That's how you do the Granny Square motif number 7. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a happy crochet day.